If you're a nerd, Blizzard needs no introduction. If you're not, the TLDR is that they're responsible for some of the greatest PC games ever made. World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, and have earned somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 billion from their products. Their creativity is legendary, and they have the numbers and fans and awards to prove it. After reading Jason Schreier's 376-page book in less than a day, I found 3 patterns that appeared in every one of their major successes. I also found those 3 same items missing every time they failed. To say it was their winning formula might be a little too simplistic. Instead, these 3 came together to form a sort of filter that helped the Blizzard team see the world in only the way they could. And when it was stripped away, so was their momentum. Here's why Blizzard won, and maybe, if you adopt parts of their pattern, how you can too. They had an external starting point. Every single one of their hit games began as an iteration of a game they already loved. Warcraft was a copy of Dune 2. StarCraft was their version of Dominion. World of Warcraft was a quote-unquote better version of EverQuest. Diablo was their own roguelike game. And Overwatch built upon Team Fortress 2. They copied what worked over and over and over again. This is why expert copywriters and designers keep swipe files. They're constantly looking for proven starting points, and they're honing their taste. This tactic also solves the cold start creativity problem. It's much easier and faster to transform an existing thing into your unique version than it is to create a new thing from scratch. They aimed at a small target. For most of Blizzard's early history, the company was filled with hardcore gamers. People who breathed base building and character leveling, and every day they showed up to work to build games for themselves. To balance the desire between making games they wanted and also selling millions of copies, the founders developed something called the donut theory. In the middle of the donut was the hole, the hardcore gamer crowd. Blizzard's games needed to be deep and strategic enough to appeal to that small, dedicated audience because they would evangelize the games they liked. The ring around the donut, bigger, heftier, more significant, represented the mid-core audience of people who maybe bought 1 or 2 games every year. To reach those people, Blizzard's games needed to be approachable and avoid turning people off. In other words, they had to be easy to learn, yet difficult to master. Every game targeted that core audience, the folks who wanted a challenge, who wanted to go deep, and then as the game developed, the team would soften the edges, build on-ramps, and help players master the game they picked up so easily. They built for completion, not deadlines. As hungry as gamers and their creators may have been for a steady stream of new content, one of the reasons people fell in love with Blizzard was due to their standout quality. Every time they released a new game, it was unlike anything else in the market. Yes, you could trace its origin to the games that inspired them, but their version was a transformation, a glimpse into where the industry and technology were headed. And the reason they could break through like that was obvious. They took a very long time to make stuff. Newcomers quickly found out what made Blizzard stand out from other companies: a willingness to let games simmer, like chili sitting on a stove. Now, simmering is a nice way to put missed deadlines and over-budget productions, but that's where the magic lies. They believed the phrase, "it takes as long as it takes," and for a time gave themselves permission to follow it. Why Blizzard stopped winning. Schreier's book captured a lot of the turmoil that's defined the last decade of Blizzard's history. From mistreating and underpaying employees, to making enemies of their biggest Asian markets. But for our purposes, the downfall feels simpler. Once we boil down what worked into the 3 patterns we mentioned, their absence in the later years becomes glaring. Instead of iterating on games they loved, they focused only on the games they had. So for many, the starting points got less interesting. They felt trapped by franchise expectations and sales goals, and relented to make what they could, not what they wanted. Then as their revenue swelled, so did their targets. Their conversations shifted from, will our core audience love this? To how many mobile players can we reach in the world? They lost the plot in the center of their donut. Finally, as company needs overpowered creative timelines, Blizzard entered into a frantic release schedule. A quick glance at their timeline proves the point. You used to have to wait years for a new Blizzard release. Now they came in months. That slow-cooked chili devolved into a microwavable dinner. The reason I wanted to tell this Blizzard story is not because I think you should immediately implement their same principles. Sometimes it's better to move fast or aim wide or ignore what everyone else is doing. The real skill here, the underlying one, is awareness. Do you know why you're winning or why you're not? Are you paying close enough attention to see your own ordered thinking?